aspirations and make a dream become a reality through the daily usage of the talents and predilections that Providence had kindly provided me, and to exploit the circumstances that life had felicitously sent my way. The first circumstance that was sent my way is something I think a great number of people in this room in Lexington, Kentucky tonight can appreciate. That is genetics. I was born Irish. I was genetically purposed to love language and to tell stories. St. Patrick himself was a great storyteller. He was able to tell stories, and he, in a period of a very few short years, was able to convert a race of pagans into a race of devout Catholics simply by telling stories and throwing in some doctrine now and then. So I was infused with that gift of gab DNA, and also that great other Hibernian treasure that is the luck of the Irish. I've had more luck than St. Patrick had shamrocks. So quickly and reluctantly, following the orders of Gray, I have to talk about myself. So here's a fast rundown of some of the luck that I've had. A guy named Jim is hitchhiking in Wisconsin, Highway 57. A guy named Marty picks him up. They start talking horses. Marty runs horse races at county fairs. Jim tells him that I am the assistant announcer at Arlington Park. A big lie. I got the job calling races on weekends, but I'm still working full-time in my uncle's golf club factory in Chicago. Miserable. My brother-in-law, a guy named John, used to live across the street from a guy named Mel. Mel runs the racing form office in Chicago. He gets me a job with the form in Cleveland. The form transfers me to Cahokia Downs in the murder capital of the world, East St. Louis, Illinois. Oh, good. But the next year, the boss, a guy named Jack, hires me to call the races. All right. I hear about a job at Florida Downs. I get it. Guy named George buys the track, fires me, depressed. George's last name is Steinbrenner, by the way. But another guy named John was sitting in the clubhouse one day, heard me, liked me, and hired me. John's last name is Brunetti. I'm going to call the races at Hialeah. Yahoo! Then, ouch, Cahokia Downs goes out of business. But I get a job calling trotters, not exactly my game, but a paycheck is a paycheck. A guy named Arthur is sitting in the Meadowlands grandstand. Arthur's the chairman of NBC Sports. He likes me, he hires me along with Ken Shanzer, and they want me to call some new thing called the Breeders' Cup. Arthur's last name, Watson, NBC Sports, and that was 30 years ago, and the rest is my very happy history, and luck has never stopped coming my way. So, I was blessed with luck. I am talking about myself. Gray, I could just shoot you right now. So I was blessed with luck and a family that insisted on education, priests and nuns and friends and bosses and colleagues that saw and developed and fostered those things they saw in me that resulted in a very rare human being. The rare human being that can say, I love my work. And I can't wait to get to work tomorrow. All those folks pushed and pulled me and paved the path that led me to the best seat in the house to witness and so gratefully be able to describe many of the most thrilling races of our time. I take zero credit for having been given that opportunity. So I called races for 43 years. And now I'm just a bum. All that stuff that I just mentioned were reasons as to how my career was formulated and constructed. But the reason my career was successful can be summed up in one magnificent word: horses. Without their exploit, without their heroic displays, without their relentless desire to prevail, without their sheer beauty, without what those horses did, I just might as well have used my voice to recite the phone book for the last 43 years. I kept a notebook over the decades full of words and phrases to describe horses and horse races. I had 6 pages devoted solely to words that described the pace of a race, from sizzling to somnambulant, which I actually used twice, from torrid to tepid to torpid. That's just the Irish in me. We love words. we love horses, and we love beer. Many of those words that I got able to use had to do with drama, as Tom mentioned, appealing to my theater major self. And all those words all came in handy on November 5th, 1988. And with the Breeders' Cup just a few weeks away, I'd like to spend just a few moments talking about Kentucky's first Breeders' Cup. I can say without fear of contradiction that that was the greatest race card ever presented. It was the most incredible day in American racing history. So to harken back to what Gray wanted me to do, this dictum about talking about myself, I'll go back to this topic for a moment, get back on topic about my personal recollections of the time that led up to those races. It started in 1987 at the Breeders' Cup at Hollywood Park. And, of course, you know, I've always had to deal with stress. It just goes with the job. And just a couple races into the card, I'm a nervous, stressful wreck. And I decided that after the Breeders' Cup, as soon as those horses crossed the finish line in the Classic, I was done calling races. I was never going to do it again. That was it. I was going to become a school teacher. I have no idea where this school teacher business came from. So anyway, the day ends in this epic photo finish between Ferdinand and Ali Sheba. I don't know if you remember that one, Chris. Oh, that was the one you lost. That's right. And I actually thought, walking out of booth that day, that the last words I would ever say into a microphone were, "The two Derby winners hit the wire together." So a few days go by, and I figure I still need a paycheck, so I was just going to continue calling the races at the Meadowlands and doing the Winter Media in Hialeah and forget this national television stuff. It was just too stressful, so forget about it. I'll just do my day job. So it comes around to the next year, and I go, okay, I got to give this Breeders' Cup thing one more try. But I got to do something about this. I'm just not enjoying it. So I do what any normal person would do in that circumstance. I get hypnotized. The hypnotherapist gives me this hypnotic suggestion. When you see the twin spires, you will be calm. You will breathe deeply and slowly and easily. Words will flow from you easily. You will capture the drama, and you will enjoy the day as soon as you see those twin spires. Yeah, okay, fine. So I do my usual fanatical study in preparation for the event, going over every possible scenario under any normal circumstances. Breeders' Cup Day arrives, Hotel Hyatt downtown, wake up, rip open the curtains, and I start swearing and screaming curse words. I'm surprised the police were not called to the situation, screaming and yelling and carrying on. It is raining sideways. And all I can think of is mud. The worst kind of mud. Churchill mud. The kind of mud that sticks to jockey silks like Velcro. When they turn for home, they're all going to be the same color. The color of Churchill's sand and marl. They're all going to look alike. I can't tell one from the other. I am over. My life is done. Finished. Kaput. So I walk down like a man going to the gallows, getting into the car. We drive up 4th Street. It's raining cats and dogs. My life is over. Then we turn right, we go down Central Avenue, and there they are. The twin spires. I am going to breathe easily. I am calm. I'm going to capture the drama. The words will flow easily, and I will enjoy the afternoon. I went from being a man sentenced to death, a maniac, to king of the world, with one look at those twin spires. And for all of us, that date in 1988 provided more drama than any other day in American racing, any other day before or since. Think of what happened that day. Angel Cordero, just a few months earlier, had been inducted into the Hall of Fame. He wins the double $2 million races. He wins back-to-back with Gulch and then Open Mind in the Philly race, both trained by D. Wayne Lucas. By the way, Lucas, as many of you know, was hospitalized. Apparently he's doing very well. He had a very interesting quote the other day. He said, "I had to go to the hospital. It's the first time I have seen a doctor in 60 years. Something about physician, heal thyself." But so the very healthy D. Wayne Lucas had an unprecedented day, a most spectacular day. He wins 3 $1 million races and comes within a nose of winning a fourth. There were only 7 races that day. A fourth with winning colors in the epic Breeders' Cup Distaff that year. In the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, he finishes 1, 2, 3. First, second, and third in the Juvenile Filly race. Of course, you know, he sends out 5 horses in the race, 4 of them wearing the same identical silks of Eugene Klein, much to the consternation of the announcer, but it didn't make any difference. They were all going to be the same color anyway, Churchill, Sand, and Marl, when they turn for home. Hero Mies, the French filly, becomes the first 2-time Breeders' Cup winner, personal ensign, and winning colors in the distaff. Quite simply, one of the greatest races of all time. And of course, the Midnight Classic, won by Ali Sheba and this man to my left, Chris McCarron. Ali Sheba, the Midnight Classic, you just had to see it to believe it. Unfortunately, it was so dark, hardly anybody saw it, and that included me. And that was in Louisville, and now on to Lexington. So friends, enjoy, appreciate the Breeders' Cup of 2015, this defining moment for your beloved Keeneland. Enjoy it all when the best of the best comes to Keeneland. American racing comes full circle from the foals and the field to the finish line in just a few furlongs. I'd like to thank each one of you for your individual contributions to the game. Your sum in parts makes it possible for people like me to achieve that rare gift of self-actualization. Dreams can come true in horse racing. I thank you for this most meaningful honor from this confraternity of dreamers. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
If you can come up here.
All right.
And hope that I can read this small type. I'm going to read the final paragraph.
As an announcer, I need to tell you, you need to talk into the microphone.
Oh. I will read only the final.
Try not to show your ass to the room. So
I will read the final paragraph, and I think you would agree the other vision was better than this one. So. In appreciation of his many years of achievement, his ability to bring his profession a sense of artistry, his enhancement of the public's appreciation of the sport of thoroughbred racing, and his eagerness to assist in many charitable causes, the Thoroughbred Club of America assembled at Keeneland Racecourse on this 29th day of September in the year 2015, hereby presents his testimonial scroll to Tom Durkin and welcomes him as an honorary lifetime member.